Long day of doing work just to come back to more. The final exam study guide, just what I needed. How in the world am I supposed to memorize all these terms and concepts within 5 days? I would have started studying earlier, but I was too busy doing other finals that took up most of my time. What? Not even a location of the chapter to find each term? I need a self-care day, maybe days, so I can finally get around to cleaning my mirrors. Can this semester go by any faster? You know what? I'll just call it a night. Unless I can find a painting idea to relieve some stress and get my final project done. That way I'll knock out two birds with one stone. Let's see. This one's really nice, but there's no way I'd be able to get it done by Monday. Actually, a lot of these would be time consuming. So maybe I'll just go to sleep and hope I wake up with an idea. My mom's birthday happens to be on Monday, the day my final project is due. What better way to celebrate than paint a portrait of us? I'm gonna start sketching this portrait out using the color burnt umber, starting with the faces and so on and so forth. My medium will be vegetable oil, which is great for oil painting. This was my view and I could tell it was about to rain. Those days are honestly the best when it comes to painting, and this part of the process is just to map out where everything's gonna be positioned. I usually start with the heads so I know where everything else goes. And since this is a portrait, it's very close up due to my canvas size. There won't be much room for background details like scenery. This will mimic the picture but to a certain extent, leaving a lot of the areas we can visually see cropped out. Right now we don't have to worry about intricate detailings because this is just the blueprint. For most artists, they need scaling and proportions to know where each thing is gonna go in each specific place. I've actually never heard of an artist that doesn't sketch or plan first. And honestly, before I do paintings, I go in with pencil, but today I was feeling like sketching with paint. So yeah, there's our blueprint finalized, so let's move on to skin tones and color correcting. For this, I like to use shades like Yellow Orchard, Naples Yellow, Burnt Sienna, and Burnt Umber, and of course mixing to get the exact shade I need. I start with the darker areas. Then I eventually work my way to the lighter areas, mixing until I'm satisfied, of course. Once I get the exact color, I then blend using a dry brush, which gets the skin tones to be cohesive. It also smooths out the fine lines because right now they're pretty sharp and they're an eyesore. But don't worry because we will handle that later. But this pretty much sums up the blueprint process. I forgot to do facial features. Okay, so I don't know how I could have forgot to do facial features. I was like, something's missing, and then I had to look closer, and I'm like, wait, I don't have any facial features to go off of to do some shading for the skin tones. So I went back and added facial features, and now here we are. Please trust the process when it comes to this. Look at the difference. The proportions are off, but honestly, that's how all my portraits start. These two up here did not start like that. They started exactly like what that thing looks like. I feel like this is gonna turn out really good. So let's just keep going. By this point, my blueprint was actually finalized, so I finished the lighter areas of my face before I worked on the darker areas of my mom's face using Yellow Orchard. I was so ready to be done mixing paint for the skin tones. I'm honestly not a fan of that part just because it takes so long and it's so intricate, especially if you're trying to get the exact shade of the picture, because lighting definitely plays a role into that. This is how things were looking. Taking a break from skin, finally, I moved on to hair. In my head, I'm plotting to make a goofier but accurate version of the actual picture. I want this to make my mom laugh. I mean, it is her birthday. It's funny how I'm just in the center of the portrait and a little piece of her is just on the side. You would think it's my birthday the way I just take up the whole picture, but that point was just funny to me. I can't wait to see her reaction. Surprisingly, getting the colors for the shirts wasn't too hard, and it ended up looking just like the picture. Did I mention I'm self-taught, by the way? Yep, I learned everything from me. Now we're working on more intricate details like lashes, which isn't my strong suit. Yeah, she'll definitely remember this. I have a thing for funny birthday gifts, as you can tell. This is gonna be great. Yeah, I took a lot of dance breaks, as you can see. They just mentally help you get through such a tedious and time-consuming process. Mind you, I was standing for hours. Now, what I'm about to do is mix the color green for my mom's eyes. That's not her real eye color, by the way. I just thought y'all should know. Then I started slapping on some t-shirt detailings. Of course, I wanted it to look goofy on purpose, trust me. Perfection was not what I wanted for this. Here's what we have. And here's the picture. Aww. I was giggling the whole way through because this is satire. After a long day listening to Kaytranada and Steve Lacy, we finally come to an end. All that was left was to sign, as I do for the rest of my pieces, no matter how goofy they look. And yeah, happy birthday to my mom.